Well, let's start with Google Glass. As far as Google Glass goes, I hate to say this because I just read a comment on someone else's channel. Someone was expressing the similar view to mine as to the advantage of AR in our daily lives, especially when dealing with the female of the species. If you can call it difference in rate of mutation of 28%, the same species. However, it appears Google Glass is doomed. Developers are no longer developing apps for it. There are too many regulations, too many limitations, mostly as a result of companies, restaurants, trying to get ahead of federal regulation, and Google themselves trying to get ahead of federal regulation. There's just so much red tape involved. And mainly, well, there's that and the $1,500 price tag. Yeah, dude, that's got to come down. Yeah. So not only is a $1,500 price tag, they're not developing it because of the rules and regulations. Well, nearly all of these regulations have to deal with the basic issue of privacy. Well, the last time I checked, as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, anything you do out in public is effectively public domain. You have zero expectation of privacy whatsoever. That is how cops are able to get away with half the shit that they do. This is a Supreme Court ruling. Tell the bitches to fuck off. Now, that doesn't mean the Supreme Court is the final word in any issue, and they are not by any means. Don't let anyone go and fool you about that one. But all these issues about privacy are specifically tailored to women. Only women. With the whole fappening thing, I actually missed that. I found out about all that shit about a week ago. That is how little of a fuck I give. Seriously. I have Yoda sitting in my head. That stupid meme I found. Offended you are? A shit I don't give. Now, all this is about the privacy issues of women. And then we have chicks going and throwing all these photos. We've known for years that you probably shouldn't do this shit. And if you do, go and like take photos of yourself, you should probably delete them after sending them. But then again, the whole Snapchat got hacked as well. So you know what? Just don't do it. How about you use the few brain cells you have and just don't do it? But no, they can't. They must show their ass. They must show their sexual availability. And while they get to use this tool for which effectively, evolutionarily speaking, we have and are designed to have no defense for at all. AR is our big hope, but at $1,500 a pop, you guys, you gotta bring that down. I still believe in AR, and I know it's coming. It's the only way it can come. We're getting wearables, we're getting sensors in our shirts. It's coming if you like it or not. To be honest, I don't like it. I like AR, I like what it can do for me, but I also know and understand what that means for all of us. All right. What that means is biometric identity cards. That means everything is on your DNA, is based on your DNA. That means at some point, someplace, there has to be a register, something for everyone to check against. That, no, no, I can't stomach that shit. I understand safety procedures and stuff like that, but in the whole argument of, well, that's just the world we live in today. You know what? Fuck that shit. It is not worth it at all. Not in the least. Now, that's for the comment. Sorry guys, doesn't look like Google Glass is going to make it. Some of the other competitors that are a lot less interested in playing nice with Uncle Sam and are more interested in taking their business and business models elsewhere and then shipping in. A few of them have essentially sat there, dropped their pants, and wagged their junk in Uncle Sam's face. And you know what? As far as where they are, kick ass. But anyways, as far as this format that this right here with this really crappy camera, which is the only reason why I'm doing it in this format. The operating system I was using to make my other videos took a shit. And for any of you that actually sat through or watched the testing 2 video, that wasn't supposed to actually end up on YouTube originally for everybody. I wasn't expecting anyone to actually watch that, but hey, you did. I'm sorry. It was an hour and a half of ranting and raving and essentially a Q&A from, well, one of you. I had enlisted one of you guys to go and help me with trying to go and figure all this out, especially using some archaic equipment on a very updated machine. Yeah. Now, as far as the Sandman video that was in question, how I linked over to another video where I saw that comment. It was about women getting pissed off about us MGTOW. Now, I respect Sandman more than I probably should, and I'm being honest here. But I don't think it is a singular issue of sexual value. Yes, he is right, and many of the metrics that women use. But I believe that a lot of what he's using as far as these metrics, I don't think most of these women are fully conscious of this. I'm not excusing their behavior, because I know from personal experience, regardless of your hormonal state, your higher functions are actually capable of overriding all of that. I know this for a fact. They try and say, well, no, I'm hormonal, I can't help. That's fucking bullshit. Tell them to fuck off and eat a dick. Sorry, man. Had a moment earlier. I read over something and it got to me. I'm going to get to that in another video. But I wanted to go and touch on this. I've discussed before of hormone ratios and the effects it has on our social behavior, specifically the ratios of oxytocin and cortisol. at the same time, along with levels of testosterone and estrogen. From some of the apparently very, very stupid feminists, they actually think that they have this huge reservoir of estrogen. Sorry to burst your bubbles, you stupid cunts. As a female, you have more testosterone in your bloodstream than you do estrogen. You just have less testosterone than we do and more estrogen than we do. That's all. If you're that dumb, you don't even understand how your own sex hormones control other triggers within the body. Seriously, read a fucking book. But no, I think as far as their sexual valuation, as Sandman alludes to, or their sexual market value, I don't think they're conscious of that. What I've seen so far, and what I've come across, is more of an ego thing that could be part of the sexual market value. But I think that is playing in the background. I don't think that is in the forefront of their mind. I think the forefront of their mind is indignation. It's just they're mortified. They're embarrassed. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to act. And what do? They revert to their basic behavioral patterns. How they behave with their parents, specifically whining to or about daddy. They go into this little temper tantrum phase, and no matter what you do, no amount of reason, logic, you can have them answer 2 + 2 = 4, but then if you ask them what is 4 - 2, they'll say 8 or some other retarded shit like that. It's more emotional. It's not thinking of their valuation. That doesn't come until later. If you're talking about like the women in the MILF category, yeah, fully agree on that one, because they realize by this point in time that they fucked up. They realize it by that point, except by that point in time, it's too damn late. There's a disconnect with females. If you take a female that's 22, she sees another female at the age of 28, but doesn't connect that it's effectively the same. She is going to become her. And when that happens, something pops. It's midlife crisis. It's just I don't know. I'd almost have to describe it as a form of mass hysteria because they all do the same damn shit. Speaking of which, latest study. If I find it, I will post it up. But you should be able. But it should be easy to locate. Latest study: if people within a relationship going stray or cheat, on average, which means half earlier, half later, for men, on average, it is 7 years. It takes 7 years for a man to say, you know, it's worth it. Now, for women, on the other hand, this is funny. I like this one. For women, it's 5 years. Once again, scientific proof. Well, actually, I don't know how scientific this is. This wasn't done with polygraphs. Wasn't done with fMRIs. This was still, once again, a survey. not a big fan of the survey shit. I want hard fucking numbers. And I know I'm not the only one. Let's see. How long has this thing been going on? Damn. Well, that's my 2 cents on women getting pissed off. I think you're on the right track, but I think it's more than one thing. I think it's a compound reaction. The sexual market value, like I said, that's in the background. That's processing on almost like a biological level. But how they react, that's environmental. And I'm not talking specifically societal, but even within regions, they'll act slightly different from one region to another, but with the same basic behavior. It's really twisted. It's almost as though they're all brainwashed to the same tune. It's just every now and then a couple of them go in short circuit and, oh, wait a minute, this hurts me in the end. Which, by the way, as far as Paul Elam goes, if you heard as to what I said during the testing 2 video, I was answering a question to one of you. Can you be, and then the questions sent back, as far as being married and being a MGTOW, okay? We are not born with knowledge. We acquire knowledge. We go through shit. We walk into corners. We get slammed in the head with doors. We get kicked in the balls by effectively everyone and everything on the planet. And some of us, we don't learn about even the concept of saying Hakuna Matata. We don't even get the concept of that ourselves until we're close to 50. It's happening earlier now, but mainly as a result of YouTube and Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter. As much as I hate social media bullshit, this is actually helping us out more than anything else. But yes, women are noticing and they're getting pissed. They're not getting pissed over their market value. They're getting pissed because many of these women were actually told growing, and I know this, were told that sex is money. Maybe not in so many words, but they were taught that sex is money. Sex equals value. Meaning cooter equals value. What they also told them a long time ago was that if your fish slit wasn't fresh, it wasn't worth anything. Yes, fish slit. Yeah, no speech, but it didn't come out very clear. Yeah. Ugh. Don't worry, it's legal. But regardless, it's more of an ego thing. Their entire psyche is built up around people serving them, people apologizing, people excusing themselves to make them comfortable, to accommodate them. And when you have a guy that sits there and just looks at you as you are just pouring yourself all over him, and he looks down at you and looks longingly into your eyes and tells you, bitch, you need a breath mint. I understand. You're not feeling too good. But just know that myself or someone like me is sitting in that same bar and about to order that guy a beer. Why? Because we're tired of your shit. This isn't just the guys who've been fucked over. This isn't just the brothers of the guys who've been screwed over. This isn't the friends of the guys that get screwed over. This isn't the neighbors. It has now become, this is the 18-year-old that goes and lives 3 blocks down is saying, screw you, you ain't worth it. You're all going to college because you're all getting that nice affirmative action bullshit. And you know what? You're also going to have the college debt to go with it. And since none of you are going to be able to succeed, truly succeed in any STEM course. Oh, okay, I can't say any of you. I'll be honest, I do know of some very, very intelligent women. I also know of some that were intelligent and then decided to fry their freaking brains. And are now essentially nothing more than a cock holder. But you are rare. Now, do I expect many more women to be going into STEM fields? Yes. Do I expect you to be any good? Very few of you. Why? Well, it's easy. More and more men are saying college ain't worth it. More and more of these kids that are going and seeing guys like me and actually talking and hanging out. Right, they're going and seeing me and everything I've gone through. They know. Not only was it their dads, not only was it their uncles, not only was it the brothers, it's every other man on the street. Where I'm at, every household has somebody in it that is or was divorced. Nah, I want to shorten that. Not every street. Every segment of like a block of 4 houses. Inside of that, just about everywhere, they're divorced or have been. And for some guys, trust me, I know your pain. Well, I do. I have to pay out 65% of my income in child support before my taxes are taken out. Never mind alimony and palimony. It's bullshit. Now, was I born with all this knowledge? No. I had to learn it. When you learn it is not under your control. You could learn about it and discover that you just want to say fuck it and do your own thing, tell everyone else to fuck off. You could figure that out 32 days after you got married, and guess what? You're still fucked. So if you go and you discover you're miserable, you don't realize it because you were conditioned throughout your life to want to go and serve at the whims of the pussy sitting up on the pedestal. You're told to go and dive down and ruin everything you own just so that a woman doesn't have to scuff her shoe. No. Nothing is worth that. Nothing. But anyways, you're stuck doing this and you live by this, and then you find out by watching some random video on YouTube, you find out about MGTOW. You're 5 years into a marriage. You got 3 kids. Then you learn about it. From that point on, your goal should be planning ahead. If you know a divorce is likely in the future, plan ahead. Squirrel away assets, resources. Put them on the sideline. She won't notice. Trust me. As your chick is still going out and spending whatever the hell she wants, she's not going to notice if you take 3, 4, 500 over here. You go and bid on some assets over at Bid for Assets, for instance. A while back, they were going and auctioning off museum quality emeralds. I ended up going and picking up one at 1,600 carats for $40. It came with a cert for 14 grand. I'm not saying you should go out and do something stupid, but when women get mad, they throw things, and when they throw things in a house, and that house is insured, sometimes their homeowner's insurance goes higher because they were stupid when they got the house and threw your stuff and broke it. There are ways. But people don't always find this before they get married. People don't realize they're MGTOW or want to go their own way until after, and they're stuck. Those are the married MGTOW. Now, if you're a MGTOW and you decide a couple years later that you want to get married, okay, I have a solution. You go to a sporting goods store. You get a couple of those tensioner bands, you know, the really wide, tight ones. You pull it out, about yay big. You pull it down. You put it around your junk. I mean, underneath your sack and on top of your pecker, and let it go. Seriously. You have just castrated yourself. You may as well go and make it official. That's how I feel on that one. But if you're married, when you discover this, we cannot exclude those men. Those men are just as important as anyone else. Their voice can still be heard, maybe not within their own home, but definitely at work, definitely within their circle of friends, definitely within those little house parties that these freaking women like to fucking put on just to go and have people over and essentially just to say, hey, look at me. These cackling hens want to go off and gnaw on the bone of civilization. You can talk to their husbands. You can talk to their boyfriends. You can tell them about MGTOW. You can offer them the red pill. I'm talking to you, the married MGTOWs. You, in many ways, are more important than the 18-year-old down the road. That's because the 18-year-old is saying no before he's in. You're saying, fuck this, I'm gone. That leaves all these cackling wildebeests with no options. And they will feel it. It will hurt. And they will react violently. we will hear everything under the sun. Not only will a matter of half an inch be okay, microaggression. I will never get over that. Thank you, Stefan Molyneux. That was a great. I love that one over at the conference. But to be honest, over here in Detroit, they tried to bury any mention of it. They really did. I'm sorry, but you should have known this is a libtard county. I mean, it's freaking retarded. I understand people coming in from Canada and Windsor just being a very easy crossing. I understand that. But you would have been better off holding this in some less idiotic state. I can't quite think of one at the moment because we're all pretty well dumbed down to the point of being toddlers. But no, they're dumb too. Shit. All right. Perhaps next time we could go and have a conference with intelligent people, maybe in Japan. I'm serious. Australia, they seem to be men there seem to be awaking in mass, like huge numbers every week. As more and more of this crap goes on in Australia, most of us here in the States that pay attention to what goes on elsewhere in the world, we can tell it's spreading quick. It really is. And as far as MGTOW here in the States, it's going good. But trying to exclude the married MGTOW, the men who didn't figure out, who didn't take the red pill until after the cement dried around their feet. Are you going to go and deny them the chance to hack their own foot off so that they may still seek life, that they may still have a chance to live? No. These men will have an even greater impact because not only is it the younger men that are seeing what we have gone through and are deciding, you know what? I'm just gonna stay away from that. I want to wait a few years to. I want to quarantine that cooter. I don't know if I should trust it. The more 18-year-olds and younger that go and do this, which is why I think more and more of these women keep trying to go and sexualize and over sexualize our young men. I say men because I look at age of 13 is the time where you start learning how to become your own man. You learn as the type of man your dad is. I'm not going to say father. Fuck that. A mother and a father give you life. But a mom or a dad, they give you a life. There is a huge difference there. And by attempting to try and scream out, you can't be MGTOW if you are married, I think that hurts us. I know that there are purists out there, and I'm glad you are there. Believe me, I am. But we don't need to be the Republican Party. We don't need to be a bunch of fuckwads with our heads up our own asses. Am I liberal by any means? Oh, fuck no. Am I a Republican? I'd rather be fucking flayed alive than ever associate myself with them. And I don't take that statement lightly, especially not with my family. But right now, they're the same. The only difference is, do you want to go there in a Volvo, or do you want to have a Saturn's V shoved up your ass? The only difference is how fast we get to the end. And it's sad. Good news is, from as far as I can tell, if it ends quick and brutal, it would take hopefully about 5 years to go and reconstruct it, look a whole lot different than it does now. But we could go and be back up and running in about 5 years. Maybe not as a single country, but as far as civilization. If it goes slow, see, that's the one I'm worried about. If it goes slow, it's a long drawn out death, and a lot of people are gonna have to die needlessly. And I speak of that mainly in reference to medical technology. But someone else in a video had spoke that only with YouTube and other forms of social media are men finally free to express the breadth of their knowledge and the breadth of their character. If we want to go and show true character, you can look on any of mine. I approve everything. All the, I mean, seriously, I get into a conversation, half of the messages get sent to a spam box. I don't care what it is. I approve it. Freedom of speech. If you like it, great. If you don't, tough shit. You can't protect or defend only the speech you like. You can disagree. Yeah. But you can't pick and choose. As far as I'm concerned, as long as Elon continues to say fuck marriage, he's going his own way. However, by promoting traditionalism, you're promoting slavery. You're asking people to put the chains back on, and you know what? They won't fit. It's not going to happen. Traditionalism is dead, especially for any of us now. Maybe in 15, 20 years, some young kids will go and start increasing the marriage rate. If they do that, that's on them. I would assume by then many of these laws would be changed, hopefully. But then again, I was hoping a lot of these laws would start to be changed back in 94. It hasn't happened yet. The MRA has effectively stalled. However, within the last few years, since MGTOW has evolved, others have gone MGTOW. Others have done what we are doing. But this time we are making our voices heard. That's the difference. We're making our voices. We are not just pulling back. We're pulling back, and we're doing it while shoving a blowhorn near our ass, or actually, you know what? Screw it. We're just going and spraying the entire world with shit. Because you know what? That's how the world has treated us. Let's just go and cover them. They're not worth our time. And yes, Sandman is right. And he's not the only one. And I've said it as well a few times. Within the MGTOW community, there are enough resources, enough knowledge, enough skill. We can go and recreate the entire fucking world. We can do it. We can have the expendable income. We can cripple the commerce industry. Well, not so much in that. I spoke wrong. We can cripple this culture of consumption that was designed to prey on women's emotional desires and instinctive actions. You can see this within a show called Seduction in the City. Look it up. To my knowledge, there's only 2 episodes. I thought there was going to be a third. As far as I know, there's still only 2. But check it out. All the bullshit debt, the credit issues coming off of the gold standard is all effectively a result of women going shopping and wanting to buy shit they can't pay for. You can own the term MGTOW as not getting married and telling society to go get bent. But if you're married and you find it, you can start taking your own actions. You start distancing yourself. You start focusing on yourself for the first time in your life. However, as I said, you go and you're MGTOW and you decide you want to go out and get married. Well, your nuts are sitting in a jar. And that's where they should be. Because you know what's going on. You're smarter than the average paramecium. I would hope, anyways. But for those that decide that dropping their IQ and driven nature and desire for a life and adventure, if you want to go and put all that and just stare at it longingly, get the fuck out of here. And if you want traditional slavery, get the fuck out of here. You don't have a place here. It's just the way it is. But if you come here, why you learn of this, you see this image in the crack in the wall. You're pulling at the chains around your neck just to catch a little more of a glimpse of the freedom other men have found. You, my friend, are a MGTOW that is chained. There are reasons to keep your chains. There are reasons to leave them. I understand the issue with kids. However, if you are having these thoughts, and it's around about 6 years or so since you got married that you started having these thoughts, realize this. Your wife has been having those thoughts a whole lot longer. And now, because enough women bitched, Google Glass is no more. Well, Soon to be no more. I think I rambled on way, way too long. I'm sorry. I got to find a whole nother format. Have a good night.